And then they will go green, and then we are off and racing in Mont-Sainte-Anne. Luca Martin, superb off the start line. Adrian Boischi going well. Over to his left-hand side, here comes Martin Vidari. Simon Andreasen now as they make a sprint for the right-hander up the hill, the all-important corner. Ollie, this is looking too close to call.
Yeah, it's a sketchy one. Really bad start for Charlie Aldridge. Missed his pedal. He's drifted back to probably in the teens now.
Look at Andreasen just moving across the front of Luca Martin. Vidari's in there, further fourth wheel as well, the Chilean national champion alongside his teammate Adrian Boischi as they head up the hill. Boischi looking really strong here in the white helmet and the white gloves of Specialized Factory Racing.
And keep an eye out for the US champ there in Trek, Riley Amos moving up. He's in good form at the moment.
Lucas Schwarzbauer over the left-hand side of the picture now, the German national champion. We know that this man is all about pace setting. Doesn't mind driving the train at all and is looking to get on the front of this start. Look, we are a lot warmer and a lot drier than we are used to being in this part of the world, and it's just, as you always say, a dry track you think is less technical, but the result is it ups the speeds, and then with the higher speed comes out of technicality.
Yeah, and then the risk of flat tyres, crashes, the risk goes up quite considerably when it's dry.
Well, as they head round the start, Luke Andreasen, Vidari, Martin, Boischi, Blevins, Lilliland, Forster, Feudal, Schwarzbauer and Azaro, the top 10. So Azaro's worked himself up 2 or 3 places as they head into this really steep rock section. Ollie, talk us through this one.
And they drop down straight off the top of the climb, down a descent, up a climb, into this rock slab, and then I think the most technical section of the course in my book, just we turn right here, you've got to be really precise with this drop down. Yes. And then we're into a bridge, then a techie climb, then just when you think it stops, you get 5 meters of grass, and then it's into more rock slabs all the way down to the bottom, super high speed.
Title winner, but here's
it's Luca Martin going down just off the bridge.
Just off the side of the bridge. Oh, sore place to crash, but up and running again.
Yeah, losing 5 spots there.
And that's why we saw him take that second bridge on so aggressively. And that is a crash for Chris Blevins. Slides out on the left-hander, manages to remount the Specialized, gets back underway again, but drama early on here in Mont-Sainte-Anne.
And you see this is where the high speed is taking its toll. All these riders running a lower treaded tyre because it's dry and they want the better rolling resistance, but with that comes the risk of small crashes on the looser sections. There's hardly any knobbles on these tyres.
Adrian Boischi, he's been the real deal the whole way through his career. Spent a lot of time on that Specialized Trinity development squad before moving over to the factory effort, and burnt himself out a bit at the start of the last season, going for a last gasp effort to make the French Olympic squad. But this season, really, when we've seen Boischi, he's been superb, and he leads this race here today at the 10th round of the UCI Cross Country Olympic World Cup, the finals. The very best out there. Vidari got that win in Val di Sole, Trentino, the Chilean, and he can do some damage early on here.
Yeah, that win in Val di Sole for Martin Vidari. It's a classic race, so tight, just coming by Azaro on the last lap, and
look at the gap these two at the front have managed to eke out
on that one descent. Yeah, really pushing hard. Simon Andreasen super fast, and now it's Blevins getting back onto the wheel.
Blevins rolling back up. The Specialized train out front here. Andreasen is the rider charged with doing something about it. Aldridge once passed Andreasen, the former teammates at Cannondale. Look at these 3 out front, Ollie, though, looking superb. And in terms of what's going on between the 3 of them, teammates, so although they're pushing hard, they won't be racing each other with the intensity that they would be other riders, am I right?
They're just going to be nice to each other. Nice as in not chopping the front off.
Nice in the loosest sense.
Nice in the loosest sense. It's nice to have seen Specialized this year in the fact that they have been going bar to bar, but have still been racing it. We haven't seen any kind of team orders as such. Nobody's prioritised Christopher Blevins overall, or appeared to. Everyone's been racing fairly for the positions and for the wins.
And Blevins as well. I mean, Blevins still leads here, having a good turn at the front.
Aldridge looking busy though. He's coming off that smoother line, just looking to try and move up through. Means you've got good legs if you're riding out there in the slightly slower section. So
Aldridge get a career first elite level short track win earlier on this season, and bizarre to talk about him, Ollie, really, is the as we see Azaro move up now past Boischi, Martin on the left hand side. Adrian Boischi all of a sudden looking like he's in trouble.
Both taking Andreasen
And the three at the front, Martin Vidari, Charlie Aldridge, Matisse Azaro, just beginning to get a little bit of a gap behind them now. Back to Luca Martin, Chris Blevins and Adrian Boischy. Simon Andreassen's in there as well.
Yeah, it was just the bottom of that descent. The front three just pulled a small gap, and Luca Martin was just struggling to close the gap, and it's just open now to this front three. Martin Vidari, the pace he set on that descent was electric.
Yeah, he's really hurting them on the descents here, Vidari. You can see that gap back to Martin now. But we know that Martin is a rider not unlike Alessandra Keller in the elite women's race, who does seem to have that ability to yo-yo slightly during a race.
Yeah, but he did have that crash, and it was a proper one on the first lap. Blevins is a little softer. He was just on the grass, but Luca Martin, off the side of that bridge, reacted really quickly, but
look at that great shot.
Might have hurt a little bit.
That's a sleep thing as well, isn't it? The adrenaline high of racing means it often can affect your sleep and your recovery as a result. But here's
Boischy trying to move up. He's made a big move, come past Luca Martin. Attack to get across. A good move from Boischy.
Has a good look over his shoulder. Boischy as well sees that no one's coming with him.
But that was a strong move from Adrian Boischy to jump across from that group in the tarmac sections.
Vidari, who led for 2 laps, now in 4th place. Let's Charlie Aldridge, one of his big rivals, have a go at the front. Boischy still in the mix. Matisse Azaro still in there as well. There's all of a sudden Martin and Blevins looking like they're being distanced out of this second group now. And it's Puntner on the front of it, the big Swiss rider, in 5th currently.
Yeah, he's coming at some speed. He's gone straight through that group on the climb. Put the hurt on. Luca Martin's got distanced.
Comfort at the front of races. He just looks composed. He's always been pretty laid back and relaxed, but once he gets to the front now.
I remember hearing Mont-Sainte-Anne last year taking 4th position. That was a really big step up for him. Last year he was racing alongside Alan Hafferly, the world champion, Simon Andreassen, multiple World Cup winner. He was very much the young rider in the team. At Mont-Sainte-Anne last year, he's really made a step up as a team leader.
Really involved here at the front. Puntner not far off. Martin still in 10th now. 49 seconds back though, so the pace of this front four starting to tell.
Yeah, Luca Martin, 10th position now, 49 seconds. Then you've got Schwartzbauer, Blevins. Good ride by the Canadian Tyler Orshall as well, up to 13th position.
17.8 on the Whoop Live of Charlie Aldridge. 183 beats per minute. Lap 6 out of 7, penultimate lap of the year. This would be the time to do it if there's anything left at all.
Aldridge is going here, and you see the gaps appearing. Azaro can't follow.
Charlie Aldridge hurting them here in Mont-Sainte-Anne.
You see Martin Vidari was trying to get past Azaro in the background. Aldridge really putting the power through now.
18.5 on the Whoop Live, 177 beats per minute. Boischy trying to stay with the Candale factory racing rider, but all of a sudden now Vidari has to get past Azaro. He realises this is an attack he needs to stay in the back on.
That attack from Aldridge on the climb, causing some damage. I think that's even growing as we speak.
It's pushing out there, isn't it? We see Garini's now 23 seconds back in 5th, so this group are doing the damage, but the man at the front of the race, Charlie Aldridge, is doing the most damage to those behind him. The specialised pairing of Boischy and Vidari need to get after Charlie Aldridge here. Let's look at the gap. It's chunky, Ollie.
Yeah, making that close to 5 seconds now.
Yeah, certainly looked like Adrian Boischy was struggling to cover off this attack from Charlie Aldridge. Yeah, and it is Vidari. Yeah, Vidari's got a move on, and he's got the magnets onto the back of Charlie Aldridge, and Adrian Boischy, we're still waiting for him to come through the shot.
Azaro getting back on his. Boischy got a problem.
No sign of him in this shot yet, so maybe problems for Adrian Boischy here. There's Vidari, there's Azaro.
Just on that grass climb, saw Martin Vidari, and he's back onto the wheel of Charlie Aldridge.
Oh, this is shades of Val di Sole if never Martin Vidari got onto the back wheel of Matisse Azaro late in the race and just kept on going. Is Aldridge about to come under big pressure from the Specialized rider here this afternoon? The sun is setting on the 2025 season, but we've got a race on our hands. Patrice Green rings the bell on the final lap. Vidari looking over, looks to see Adrian Boischi, looks to be a spent force now. It's Vidari from Aldridge from Azaro on the final lap in Mont-Sainte-Anne. Vidari versus Aldridge versus Azaro, and Aldridge pulls out left and overtakes the Chilean at the top of the climb. Statement move that.
Yeah, and Aldridge wants that front position for the descent, and you see that Azaro, he got dropped before, got back on.
Clever
I think
racing.
he's hanging on for a third position would be my bet.
Clever bike racing from Charlie Aldridge, and already he's got a bit of a gap back towards the Specialized rider.
You see that gap just appearing a little bit again, and then we come up to these steeper switchbacks. Starts about 4 or 5% and then really gets steep up into 25% on the corners.
Big look over the left-hand shoulder from Charlie Aldridge as they head back into the woods. Sees Vidari, sees Azaro. And we know how strong he is up there. Goes up the steepest inside line there. Going for the shortest possible route up then. Charlie Aldridge turning the screw at the front of this one.
And that gap just opening up a little bit now to Martin Vidari.
Vidari's hurting.
And this is a tough section. You go over those mud switchbacks, then into this rock section. It keeps climbing through here.
Martin Vidari needs to be closer to this on the back of Charlie Aldridge if he wants to get that second win of the season.
And that's a good gap now. Aldridge will like what he sees.
And he knows that this climb works really, really well for him. Can stand on the pedals, put some of that massive horsepower down into the ground. And is he riding away from Martin Vidari here? It's 8 seconds now on the split.
Yeah, that gap going up. Vidari's still looking good, but Aldridge just gaining a second every kind of 100, 200 metres of track.
Charlie Aldridge can't stop looking behind him, needs to focus on what's ahead of him, and it might be a debut win.
So this is a key climb now. We come up here, it drags for a long time. Has he still got the legs?
Looks like it. Looking really, really strong up here, Aldridge, but where's Vidari? We can't see him in the shot. It's saying 8 seconds still on our clock in the booth. Can we get a visual on the rider in second place? There he is, Vidari, with an ocean of work to do ahead of him, behind Aldridge now.
And this course just keeps dragging. Not done yet, but that gap is significant, and Azaro is now closing back on for Vidari.
And Adrian Boischi's 20 seconds back of Azaro, so Azaro looking nailed on for third place here for Origin. Charlie Aldridge is gonna do it. Finally, the British national champion is gonna notch a win on the biggest stage of all at the UCI Cross Country Olympic World Cup. It's all Aldridge in Mont-Sainte-Anne. Charlie Aldridge takes the win in Canada at the UCI World Cup finals. Behind him, Martin Vidari fought so bravely for so long. Second place today for Specialized Factory Racing. Behind them, Matisse Azaro for Origin. A strong third, but Ollie Beckinsale, you've been out there, you've done it yourself. How big a win's this?
Massive, massive win for Aldridge. He took his first XCC short track race in Leger. Fourth here last year in Mont-Sainte-Anne. Second, he's been building and building. But to take his first victory here, Mont-Sainte-Anne, final race of the year. Fair play, Charlie Aldridge.
Adrian Boischi, so often the danger man at the front of this one.
And the way that Charlie Aldridge did it, poor start, fought to get back onto the front group, attacked on the penultimate lap, they brought him back. Some ride.
Big respect there from Adrian Boischi as well. Charlie Aldridge becomes only the 5th British rider to win an elite cross-country Olympic UCI World Cup race. Schwarzbar 13th. There's Luca Martin for Cannondale Factory Racing. I've been told that he may have been racing. The team suspected with a broken finger sustained in that crash. From Charlie Aldridge. What a year though from Chris Blevins. Blevins home the 23rd, but the title is his. Well, we can head down now to Cannondale Factory Racing's Charlie Aldridge.
Yes! I'm buzzing! What a way to finish the year. I'm over the moon with that. I've been working towards an XCO win my whole career. Especially this year, I've been close a couple of times, and to finish it off like this is unreal.
Aldridge, the winner, ahead of Vidari.
Charlie Aldridge!
Charlie Aldridge, taste success, becomes the 5th British XC rider. Got a UCI World Cup win. It's been a while in the making, this one. But a superb result for Charlie Aldridge. And all the Cannondale factory racing squad.
Yeah, Brazil feels like a long time ago. It's been a beautiful year. I mean, yeah, I got to let myself catch up with myself a bit. And right now, I just feel extremely grateful, proud of myself, proud of the team, and yeah, it's been quite a ride.
Here is how the standings shake out then. Blevins by 301 points in the end from his teammate Martin Vidari. Luca Martin third. Azaro, Aldridge, Puntner, Avendetto, Schwarzbar. But what a year this man has had. Christopher Blevins. Was unstoppable in the first half of the season. Was unstoppable last weekend in Lake Placid. And finally gets to hoist the UCI Cross Country Olympic World Cup overall winners trophy.